Welcome, everybody, to today's installment of Home Solutions. Hope everybody is having a wonderful, wonderful Saturday morning. Hope you're enjoying this weather this week. Hope you and your family are well. Dennis Purvis live from the Mix 1041 studios, as always, here with you. Today we've got a fun show. First of all, I just want to say thank you for listening, no matter how you're listening. Maybe you're on the radio driving around this morning, heading off to the store, to a hardware store, a local big box store, maybe doing a DIY project or just checking things off that honey-do list. Either way, we appreciate you listening to Mix 1041 or 1013 The Buzz. Maybe you're listening on the Mix 1041 app. If you're not, grab it. You can stream anywhere. Plus, there is tons of great local info on that as well. For those of you streaming online, we thank you. And for all those in Facebook world, Facebook Live going out today. Hi, guys. Good to see you, Facebook. I'm really excited about our guest today. He is so excited to be, anytime he gets an opportunity to be on radio, he just jumps at it. He really does. Not only is he a good friend of mine, but he's also business partner and part owner of Pro 93 Home Solutions. Ladies and gentlemen, Jessie Matthews.
Thanks, man.
How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good today.
You're so excited to be here.
You're such the front man, and I am not the front guy. I promise you. That is the difference between me and you, okay?
I just want to tell you, we pulled into the parking lot, and Jessie was like, oh. And I went, what's wrong? He's like, the radio show.
The radio.
And I was like, come on, man. We're doing it fun. He's like, for you, baby. But listen, those of you guys that know Jessie, he's one of the most personable guys I've ever met. Customers love him. Our vendors love him. Our contractors love him. Our guys and gals at Pro 93 love him. And what we wanted to do today is talk a little bit about Pro 93 Home Solutions. We are a locally owned, veteran-owned general contractor specializing in all things residential. We are, of course, licensed, bonded, insured here in the state of Tennessee. If you're listening in the Mix 1041 or 1013 audience, we will probably be ready to serve your area. Folks that call all the time from McCoy or Old Fort, Benton, you guys come this far? And I'm like, I live halfway to you. So
Decatur.
Yeah, you're right out past my house. We go up to Decatur, Georgetown, Meigs County. We serve McMinn County. And we've even been Hamilton County, all the way down to, the state line and beyond. So we're here to not only help you with your remodeling, but new construction, additions. We kind of, if we have a specialty, I think it'd probably be in the remodeling world, kitchens, baths seems to be a very, very big ticket right now for folks. And I think a lot of them, the people have been stuck in their house for so long, they're tired of looking at things.
Yeah, I was just talking to someone the other day, and I was telling them, I feel like people working from home now are realizing that there's things that they need to get done. So when they get up and go to work pre-COVID, they didn't see all the issues that they had.
If you're gone 8, 9, 10 hours a day,
it's tough to see it.
Yeah.
But then when you're home all the time and you're working from home, you look around and say, ooh, I need more space.
Yeah.
I need more space, or I want an outdoor living area. So that's where we get the phone calls.
And let's be honest, the real estate market, if you're selling right now, is fantastic. And I would love to tell you, I'll be honest, I'd sell my house in a heartbeat right now for the equity I know I could get. Problem is, I got to buy something.
Yeah, you got to go somewhere.
I got to go somewhere. And so what a lot of people are choosing to do is add space by doing additions or converting some existing space. We've done a lot of basement finishing, just in the last few months, it's been a constant call. But one of the things we wanted to talk about today, and one of the reasons I wanted Jessie to be here, is Jessie's kind of our expert in the company in two very different yet interrelated areas, and that's roofing and insurance. And it's that time of year, unfortunately, where we see a lot of insurance claims, especially in property loss, because the weather's going to start getting a little colder. Folks with galvanized and older pipes are going to start seeing pipes freeze up, bust, cause a lot of water damage. Sometimes it's in a wall. You don't see it till it's way too late. And what we wanted to talk about today was dealing with insurance. You know as well as I do, Jessie, people, they're hesitant to call and make a claim.
That's right.
Number one, because they're afraid their policy is going to go up immediately.
Right.
That's not how it works. I try to make people feel better and said, this is what you've been paying for 10 years that you've never made a claim on.
That's right.
And so when you got a customer that's dealing with a loss, or maybe they've got storm damage on their roof, whatever the case is, how do you set them at ease about the insurance process?
Well, a lot of times it's coming in as a contractor telling them this is what needs to be done to get you back up to whole. So if interior work specifically, maybe you go to work or maybe you're at a Christmas party and you come home and realize that your supply line in your dishwasher or your sink went out, or refrigerator went out. You come home to 4 inches of water in your kitchen and realize, oh my gosh, what do I do? Right? So the first thing most people will do is call their insurance company to say, what do I do? Or they're going to go down in their garage and grab their shop vac and start working immediately to get the water up. And then from there, you realize that this is way over your head. You can't do it all by yourself. So then you have to get professionals involved. A contractor specifically, licensed, bonded, insured is number one priority, which is where Pro 93 Home Solutions comes in. And we can walk through the process of getting a claims adjuster involved, get a claim number assigned from your insurance company. And from that claim number being assigned, and then we as contractors can work hand in hand together to write a scope of loss so the insurance can understand, okay, this is exactly what needs to happen for us to get back to whole for my house. So there's steps that go to that. But immediately, especially if it's water, if it's a fire, obviously safety is a major, major concern. Storm related damage, a little bit different. So, there might be temporary repairs that need to happen before an insurance company can get involved. Unfortunately, around here within the last several years, we have had multiple storm related events that have caused damage for a lot of people. And one of the concerns on that will be, we'll find outside contractors that aren't from the area try to come in, start a project, and then they're out. And then when there's warranty issues, they're nowhere to be found. So I highly recommend find a local company that can get involved with you, that has a reputation that we need to uphold, and walk you through the process of an insurance claim.
And it doesn't have to be daunting. And I think one of the things that's there's a sense of reverence, and I've talked to some of my buddies that are in the insurance, and they don't really understand it either. But it's also that kind of idea of there's a sense of almost reverence when an insurance company sends something to you, that it's that way or the highway, like it's written in stone. Mm-hmm. And I think one thing we try to tell folks are, even if your adjuster has come out, okay, a lot of times we hear about jobs maybe after the adjuster's been out. They've given their adjuster's worksheet, which shows kind of a breakdown, step by step, room by room, of what needs to be done. Folks, that's a starting point. And I don't mean to sound glib or flip, but insurance companies' jobs are to pay you as little as they can get away with. And a lot of times, especially with storm damage, water damage, fire damage, the adjuster can only see what's on the surface.
Right.
They're not pulling the walls out.
Mm-mm. That's
what happens when your contractor gets in there.
Right.
And so, Jesse, talk a little bit about the supplemental process and how you don't need to be scared about that, and that this is I don't know that we've had many insurance jobs that haven't had a supplemental.
Sure. Well, one of the things I'd like to say is that insurance companies do want to do the right thing.
Yeah.
In my experience, what I've come up with are a lot, and this is not for all adjusters because a lot of them do have contractor experience or construction experience, but for the most part, a lot of adjusters come into situations that they don't know how to put it back. And so what they do is they'll write what they think needs to be done in order to try to get it back to whole, but in reality, they may not think about code issues that your contractor has to think about. They don't have to think about the permits that may have to be pulled to get you back up and running.
Upgrades for those codes.
And then, and again, I'm not an insurance agent or a insurance adjuster. I am a contractor. Yeah. However, there are some fine print things that are in your policy that says for a loss that there are code upgrades allowed in your policies. So that's something to discuss with your contractor. That's something to discuss with your insurance company. So as a contractor coming in, seeing just the basic scope of work that's been written from your adjuster, I'm not saying that that's the minimal amount that they're going to pay, but sometimes it's more than that. It's because they don't know how to write the full estimate on removing and replacing, or this is so damaged that we can't replace it or detach and reset. We're going to have to remove and replace it because it's so damaged.
And the other part of that is, and even if they have the knowledge, until you get in there and really demo the damaged portion, you don't know what's behind it.
Right.
They don't have X-ray vision. I don't care, because that happens with us. On a typical remodeling job, folks, we may have a contract and a scope of work, and 9 times out of 10, we're going to have a change order of some sort. Now, sometimes it just because the customer for more or less, change orders can go either way. But that same thing applies to insurance. Is that David, Jessie have got, between the two of them, 4 decades of experience out here estimating and looking at these sorts of, losses and jobs and projects. The problem is, until we tear that wall out, we don't know what that insulation
You'll never know what's behind it.
You don't know what's under that floor. We don't know what the floor joists look like. So changes are not a bad thing. It's nobody trying to rip off an insurance company. It's nobody trying to rip you off. Our license kind of dictates if we see something that is not up to code, that is a safety violation, we are bound to not only show you, document it, but fix it. Yeah. We can't just cover it back up and act like it never happened. Yeah. We had a water job with a duplex, and the owner bought it, didn't build it. He had bought it from someone else. He had no idea there was a big water. They ripped out all the drywall and realized there wasn't a firewall, because when this duplex was built, it was pre the code of, and what a firewall is basically an extra layer of a special kind of sheetrock that's going to, it's a slow burn. It slows the fire from jumping from apartment to apartment or duplex to duplex. And until you get into those things, and once you point it out to the insurance, and I think that's kind of one of the things that I really think our guys and gals are great at is documentation. How important is that?
Documentation's huge. And let's think about this as well, about supplements, going back to that question. If anybody's had a construction home built for them, the contractor will go into initial agreement on, this is what this looks like on paper, this is what it looks like on price. And then through the process, there's changes. If you're not dealing with the insurance, then what happens is your contractor will come to you with a work order to say, okay, we're going to do a change order.
Yep.
The way I look at it, and going back to an insurance company, is it's a change order not delivered to you as the policyholder for cost and for payment. It's a change order to go back to the adjuster to say, hey, there's changes here because we finally pulled this wall out, or we finally pulled this floor up and realized that there's another layer of floor that wasn't factoring in on the price for your project to come back to whole. So that supplement is what the technical term would be into the insurance company. That's the language they use, is a supplement written from the contractor to the insurance, because it's a change order back to them.
And to be clear, yes, your insurance will, if they accept those and approve those, they will pay for those changes to be done. That doesn't mean any more money out of your pocket.
No.
Your policy, you have a deductible. That is what you're expected to pay out of pocket. The insurance companies, they're used to this process. You don't have to be scared of the process, and find a contractor that knows how to navigate it. And that's one thing I'm really proud to say that, and again, not a lot of contractors, not all contractors do insurance work. It is not always quick pay.
That's right.
A lot of times we're sending things in after the fact to get that extra money. For us as a contractor, we're confident in our relationships that we've built with just not only the customer, but our name and reputation. Insurance companies all talk now. Like, this isn't a day where you can hide. You can be a bad contractor and hide. They all talk. They all know. And I really think that's a point of pride for our company, is that we do that kind of work. We like that kind of work, because at the end of the day, we know we're going to get paid. Well,
and that's a lot of it too, of just knowing that not all contractors want to do the work from the insurance companies, because one, they don't want to wait. Yeah. They don't want to wait the time to close out that claim, because one, you got to do the work. So sometimes that's weeks and months of doing the project. And then there's a point in time to close that down. And then they're going to release payment on depreciation and everything else that's there. So sometimes we take on insurance jobs as Pro 93 because, or we take on these jobs, but we may not get paid on it for 3 or 4 months after it's completed.
Yeah. And just so you know, that doesn't scare us. We're not going anywhere.
Right.
We're your local general contractor right here in the Cleveland metro area. And listen, we're up against it. Jesse's going to hang around. Don't touch that dial. Hang out. We'll be back here in just a few minutes. You're listening to Home Solutions on Mix 104.1 and 101.3 The Buzz. Are you tired of going to YouTube or Google for answers to your home improvement questions? Maybe you have more projects than you have time. No matter where you are in the process, Pro 93 Home Solutions is ready to serve you. Pro 93 is a local, veteran-owned company offering residential and commercial remodeling, cleaning, and security. Contact us today at 458-4135 or online at pro93homesolutions.com. Let the pros at Pro 93 find the solution for your home or business. That's 458-4135. Welcome back, everybody. We've been got Jessie, my business partner from Pro 93 Home Solutions. Shout out to our third partner, David Pinkard. How you doing today, buddy? David is, when we say we're veteran-owned, David is a Navy veteran. And to all the veterans, I should have said this at the top of the hour. Veterans Day was this week, and just want to say thank you. We're humbled by your service, the sacrifice that you and your families made. And it's much appreciated. So thank you. But today we've been talking about insurance work, and we've been talking about what happens when you have a loss. God forbid you have a loss of water damage, pipes busted, roof issues, those kind of things. We've talked a little bit about going through the process. And I feel like I don't want to get too far in the weeds, but I want to talk about a couple things you might hear from a contractor, especially if you hear from us at Pro 93. One of the things we do up front with a customer a lot of times is, especially if there hasn't been an adjuster out yet, or there hasn't been a scope of work verified, we may do what's called a contingency contract. And a contingency contract, really all it says is, you're willing to partner with us, we're going to partner with you to get with your insurance company to work for the proceeds or what the insurance is going to approve. Mm-hmm. And Jessie, what is the benefit to getting that signed early? In a transaction with an insurance loss?
It allows us as a contractor to have a conversation with your insurance company first and foremost, because a lot of times, let's think about it, you may not know how to get your house fixed after a loss.
Yeah.
You may not have no idea, or you might know, but that gives us the opportunity as contractors to have that signature in writing saying that if we agree to be your contractor, you to hire us as contractor, that we can now discuss the scope of work and the price of what it's going to take with your insurance company to pay that bill at the end of the job.
Absolutely. And where that comes into handy is we get to start a relationship with your adjuster. Mm-hmm. The adjuster is the person that's going to control the majority of your repairs, the majority of your life, if it's a major repair, for a little bit. And typically, we have been blessed in this area with some good adjusters.
There's good ones, yeah.
There's some good ones, and even the ones that people may not, they're not a great adjuster. A lot of the times, it's just the fact that they're in a no-win situation a lot of times. Mm-hmm. They're dealing with people who have got their lives majorly upset. It's not a job I would love.
Yeah, it would be hard. It would be really hard to be an adjuster
because they hear it on both sides. Mm-hmm. But taking, we can get a relationship with them. We can start the process early. The other part I think that really folks don't understand fully is depreciation. Mm. Okay, mm-hmm. And it's called recoverable depreciation. It's something that you'll see on your adjuster's worksheet where, especially the older your house, the more of it you're going to have. Jessie, talk a little bit about, how to get that back, where that looks like, and how we try to. Just this week, I can tell you, we had a customer that I said, hey, we've settled up. They gave us the final check. I said, we're going to close this out. We've talked to your adjuster. Everything's great. You need to call and let them know it's complete. Send in our final invoice to get your depreciation. She had no idea what I was talking about. She had, I don't know, $500 or $600 just sitting there. Tell folks what that is and why insurance companies do it.
So recoverable depreciation is when you actually have your project completed, and it does not work like a depreciation for your automobile.
Yeah.
It's totally different topic, totally different conversation. This would be recoverable depreciation, meaning that if you have some money set back from the insurance company on the initial part of your job, the insurance company will do that to secure that the work gets done on your house. If it doesn't get done, then they won't release that. But if the work does get completed, then that's why it takes a very competent contractor, because this is where it really comes down to the nitty-gritty of someone that does know how to do it with insurance or doesn't know how to perform it with insurance. Because that is a way that the insurance will hold the money back to make sure the work is done. And then when the work is completed, we as contractors have paperwork and we have documents with pictures that show that the work is completed, and then they'll release the funds for the remaining recoverable depreciation.
And when you ask,
please, though, look, sorry to cut you off.
No,
please make sure on your insurance that you have recoverable depreciation. There are instances where customers think that they have recoverable depreciation and they're paying their premiums thinking that they have it, and then they all of a sudden have to file a claim and realize they have non-recoverable depreciation.
And there are some insurance companies that just have a blanket policy, they don't have it. One is very popular in the state of Tennessee, and they may have an agricultural place in their name,
without saying anything about it.
They do great. I mean, and here's the thing: that doesn't mean you're not going to get your claim processed. Doesn't mean you're not going to be made whole. They just, as a practice, don't, because of the way of their business model. They don't have that. Where we see that a lot is on roofs, and where people get bid on this is when it's not maybe a full replacement, but a repair. Maybe a branch has went through one side of their roof and it's in their attic, right? When you see people that a year after they've had damage still have a blue tarp on their house, chances are they didn't get their recoverable depreciation. Right. And it's the insurance's insurance that you're going to complete the work, because at the end of the day, they have underwriting. They are insuring your home up to a certain, not just a dollar amount, but a appearance and structural integrity. If you choose not to do that, that's the only kind of thing they have, right, other than to drop your policy, which I've seen happen.
Right. Oh yeah.
But that's one of the reasons they do that. It helps ensure you're going to get that. And most people don't even realize it. They don't think about it. And a lot of times it's a great phone call for us to make, because they're like, oh, I didn't even realize I had that.
Right.
I'm like, you need to call your agent and your adjuster and make sure they know. So it's a little extra work on our end because of all the kind of close, like you talked about, closing out a job. But it's never a hard phone call to tell somebody they got some money coming back.
No, that's always an easy call.
Yeah, that's one of the funnest ones we get to do.
Yeah.
Jesse, just kind of every week we try to give customers some tips. What are some of the things that you've seen with folks and all the insurance? I know you've done countless insurance claims. What are some of the common things that you see, maybe either from the customer, just best practices that they need to do, or things that you wish you could tell everybody when you see them? One
would be review your insurance policy with your insurance agent. I think that needs to be done on a yearly basis.
Absolutely.
And I think stepping in the area we live in, again, I said it before, we are in a very, very weird area with weather. We have so much changes of seasons and weather. We got all 4 seasons here. So we have a ton of issues that are going to happen with weather related or acts of God related.
Yeah.
So every year would be very important to sit down, analyze your policy with your insurance agent. If you need to update coverage, talk to your insurance agent about the coverage. If you need a recoverable depreciation policy and you don't even know what that means, still get it. That's another thing that I would tell you to have on your insurance policy. If you're paying a little bit higher premium because of that, it's highly recommended to do it.
And the chances are that increase, it's the same thing. I want to tag on here. It's the same thing with your deductibles. Folks, take a look at, to a lot of folks, $1,000 deductibles when you're buying a policy and you're buying a house may not seem like a lot, but what happens when it's Christmas time? You know, you're if you're like my family, you're living paycheck to paycheck to try to, because everybody's figuring out what we're doing for Christmas and making sure everybody has a great Christmas. And then suddenly there's a fire or a pipe bursts. That $1,000 deductible is a lot more challenging to do, folks. When you do these reviews with your insurance agent, have them price it with a $500, a $250, right? You will be shocked at how little the premium, because most folks' insurance is paid in their mortgage anyway. And when you divide that by 12, you may be paying $12 more a month to not have that issue when it happens.
It does come down to the finances on what you can afford. But I'm telling you, just review your insurance policies with your agents. I'm sure they're going to appreciate it, and they probably reach out to you for reviews anyway.
I think one other thing when you ask about that review is, especially if you've been in your home for a while, look what your replacement cost is. We have, in the last couple of years, we've got A to Z in real estate coming up right after us. I'm sure they talk about it a lot. I've heard them. We've got a crazy market right now. Prices are increased. Your house is worth more than it was just a couple years ago, let alone 10 years ago. Make sure you have enough coverage. And your insurance company, even if they do another kind of a drive-by underwrite, they can get somebody out to inspect, or they can look at listings and what's selling, because you want to make sure if something did catastrophic happen to your house that you can afford to rebuild it. And a lot of people, that's something people don't think about, and it's not the insurance company's fault. They've got thousands and millions of policies. They can't review every one all the time. So take Jesse's advice. Talk to your insurance agent. Say, hey, can we just do a little checkup? Then another thing with your insurance agent, look at umbrella policies. If you have several properties, you have several autos, there are different sort of riders for specialty items, for umbrella policies. All these things help protect you. They're just supplements, and they are so affordable. They are so affordable. I need to take my own advice in one area right now. Me and Jesse were just talking about the other day. So listen, get with your agent, and they can help you out. Well, listen, we got just a little bit here. Jesse, it wasn't that bad, was it?
Painful, but it's good.
He's talking about the radio, folks. But listen, if there's ever a way we can help you, we keep saying we're your local guy here. We don't mind remodeling. We don't mind repairs. We don't mind insurance work. You can reach us at 458-4135. If there's a way to call Miss Cherie, she will get you on our list, on our schedule to get an estimate. It doesn't cost a thing to get an estimate. Pro93homesolutions.com. You can check us out on Facebook, wherever it is. Better Business Bureau. We're a member of the Bradley Cleveland Chamber of Commerce, of Ocoee River Builders Association, ORBA. Listen, we do our best to be in and out and about in the community and doing our part. But most of all, you guys are our friends and our neighbors, and we want to do right by you. Jesse, thanks for being here, man.
Yeah, you're welcome, man.
And listen, folks, hope you have a wonderful week. Take care of your family. Take care of your neighbor. We're in this thing together. It's looking better and better out there every day. Let's keep it up. I'm so excited to almost be able to say Happy Holidays and Merry Christmas. Some people still think that that's too early, but we're in November now, folks. Guess what?
I'm ready for Christmas music and my Christmas lights.
If you could put some Christmas music right here, it'd be amazing. Just play us out the show. Listen, Merry Christmas. I'm saying it. We're breaking it in. I got 6 more weeks I could say it. We love you guys. You've been listening to Home Solutions right here on Mix 104.1 and 101.3 The Buzz.